We will now start creating this page, and first we'll start with creating this navbar in the top, where we see that we have the company name, the brand name, some links, and a drop down to select languages. We'll go to the code editor and get started. First we create the nav element, and we'll give it the class navbar. We'll also give it the class isPrimary to give it the primary background color. Then we'll add the role attribute with the value navigation and the area label attribute with the value main navigation. These two attributes are for accessibility, for example for screen readers that would know what this code represents, so they don't have any visual effect on the page. Now we'll create a div tag with the class container, which will give the content a max width and center it. Now we can create the navbar brand in the left side of the screen using the class navbar brand. Inside this we'll create an anchor tag that leads to the index page, and we will give it the class navbar item and the text company name, and close the anchor tag again. Now we'll add the button that toggles the menu on small devices. So we add the button tag with the class button and the class navbar burger. This will give the button the look as a common burger icon, which is the 3 lines. We'll also give it the data target attribute with the value nav menu. This attribute will be used later for inserting some JavaScript to trigger the opening and closing of the menu. Inside the button we'll create 3 span elements. These are used to create the 3 lines that represents the burger. Now we'll create the navbar menu. So we add a div tag with the class navbar menu, and we'll give it the ID nav menu, which we were referring to up here. Inside this we can create elements to float to the left side and to the right side. So to the left side we create a div tag with the class navbar start. We want this to be the actual menu with links to the different pages. We now create an anchor tag that leads to the index again, and we'll give it the class navbar item and the text home. We'll copy this 4 times and change some values. So the second one will lead to the services page, the third one will lead to the about page, the fourth one will lead to the team page, and then we'll insert the last one that will lead to the contact page. Alright. Now we'll create the elements to float to the right side. So we add a div tag with the class navbar end. In this tag we want to add a drop down. So first we add a div with the class navbar item, and then we need to add the class has drop down. We'll also add the class is hoverable, so when you hover the element it will open up, so we don't need to click it. Inside this we'll add an anchor tag that doesn't lead anywhere, and give it the class Navbar link. We'll give this the text language and close the anchor tag. Now we can create the content of our navbar. So we add a div tag with the class navbar dropdown. And we also want to add the class is boxed to style it in a specific way. Then we can insert the items for the dropdown. So we add an anchor tag, and we'll just add some kind of example here for the URL, companyname.com/language. We'll give it the class navbar item and the text language, and close this again. Let's duplicate this 2 times. Now let's take a look in the browser. Select the right tab and refresh. We can see that our dropdown is working, and remember, this is created only using CSS, since Bulma is a CSS only framework. When we select a smaller screen size, we can see this burger button appearing. If we click it, nothing happens. To see the content of this menu, we need to add the isActive class for the navbar menu here. So an example would be to add the class isActive like so, and to remove it again. So the way we'll do this, we'll go to the Bulma documentation. Under components and navbar, they have an example of some working JavaScript. This is the quickest way to do it. You could also do it in other ways, or using different kind of JavaScript, but this is a good way, I think. It works. So after our nav element here, we add a script tag with the type text/JavaScript. Close this again. Inside here, we can now add this, or paste in this code from the Bulma documentation. So what it does, it waits for the content to be loaded, and then it finds all the navbar burgers, like so, and then it checks if it found any burgers, and if it did, it continues inside this function, and then for all the navbar burgers, it adds a click event. So when we click it, it will then find the target, which we defined in the attribute up here, data target. Nav menu will find this navbar menu on these 2 lines. Then it will add the class isActive to both of these. Let's see this in action. We'll go back here and refresh. Now when we click it, it will open. Notice that it also adds the isActive tag to the burger icon itself, which gives it this sweet animation. So it adds the class here to the burger icon, and here it adds the class to the navbar menu. This was the navigation.